Yes, a libertarian future is inevitable. The more enthusiastic and probably younger and newer among us will cheer my prediction of the inevitable libertarian world to come. Others here who've been leaning against the political wind longer will think that prospect preposterous, even ridiculous. Our record of election disasters doesn't support such crazy optimism. With few exceptions, those running on the Libertarian Party ticket harvest about 3% of the total vote count. Fewer are elected to office. It's more correct to say hardly any of us get elected. And those who do win the occasional politically inconsequential office because it's uncontested or nobody else wants it. So, Werner, just when will libertarians become a desired electoral option, you ask? Here's my answer. Jot this down. Only when it has to. The founders had it wrong. At least they didn't have it entirely correct. I'll now reveal the missing link. You ready? This is why. Yes, jot it down. Man does not live by liberty alone. Sure, early settlers to the New World ran from tyranny to seek religious freedom. But remember, they also conquered and subjugated those who already lived here in the process. History, the story of man, is a continuous succession of conquest, subjugation, and rule. This is a fact we have to face. So there has to be more motivation for we the people than a thirst for liberty. Most of us declare individual liberty, our own, as an inalienable right. Yet clearly, a thirst for other people's liberty is hard to substantiate in the long march of civilization. Libertarians distinguished themselves from other political parties because we seek to maximize voluntary social interactions instead of imposed government rule. I'm convinced of the importance and truth of this. So are you. It's why we're here. Unfortunately, we the people are not libertarians. Based on our electoral failures, we should know hardly anyone else who votes, has been convinced, or even cares about what libertarians think and value. This is why only we are here and don't need a bigger venue. We have a democracy. If we the people valued voluntary social interactions instead of imposed government rule, wouldn't we also already have a libertarian government? So what gives? What must we conclude from the creation of big government reality instead of our little government ideal? Does it mean we libertarians are kidding ourselves? From where does my optimism to foretell our inevitable libertarian society spring? Stay with me. I'll explain. I promise to divulge the answer later. For now, back to the present. With a consistent, inconsequential vote count, we know we have lost a war of ideas. People, voters, don't buy liberty. They want more than liberty. They want favors. They want the liberty of a free lunch and don't care if getting it steals liberty from those who have to pay for it. The politically relevant fact of the matter is plunder is more popular than liberty. We demand lots of things without wanting to pay for them. We prefer to tax corporations, tax the rich. Promise me anything but not more taxes. The list is endless. Some demand farm subsidies, so we have the Federal Department of Agriculture. Others want subsidized housing, so we created HUD. Voters want subsidized education, so we have the Department of Education. Many seek protection from harmful medications. Federal Drug Administration. Want money for the poor. Health and Human Services. A secure retirement. The Social Security Administration. Free or subsidized health care. Medicare, Medicaid. Obamacare. And on and on. On the federal level, there are now hundreds of departments, independent agencies, and government-owned corporations. There are federal entities as well as designated federal entities. At the start of the 20th century, federal spending comprised about 3% of GDP. Now it's about 33%. All of this was legislated to meet some political demand. All of it provides a political favor for some at the cost of liberty to others. Why do you suppose there's no Federal Department of Liberty? Or Cabinet Secretary for Freedom? Because liberty is not enough for we the people. Stuff is. Government is a benefit transfer tool and a favor distribution mechanism. Big government is a big benefit transfer tool. This is what we the people want and vote for. Any politician who runs on a platform promising to reduce benefit transfers will lose. Yet, this is all libertarian politics offers. Less government, fewer benefit transfer tools. Here's the bad news. We're selling what very few want. Running for political office on a libertarian platform has been and will continue to be a losing proposition until the political soil is right. Resources we use to get 3% of the vote is wasted. I hate to say this, but 3% may well be a margin of error from zero. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is Einstein's definition of insanity. Einstein was no fool. Give me liberty or give me death is a great slogan most people will run from. Clearly, running for political office is not a sane activity for the Libertarian Party because conditions are not yet favorable. Spending our limited resources on collecting independent petition signatures to get on the ballot to be able to run for office is a waste of money and time. Both of these are very scarce for libertarians at this time. Any election campaign needs to be carefully evaluated to ensure conditions are right. Conditions are right when people seek us out, when getting signatures no longer costs money, when libertarian speakers are recruited, when libertarian ideas are sought after. Any campaign that cannot expect some reasonable, non-embarrassing, politically significant vote count, I recall the Greens once suggested 20%, must be abandoned as counterproductive. If you are a politician who gets 3%, you're considered an oddball at best and a kook at worst by most people. Such disparaging perceptions are political suicide. These classifications, oddball, kook, are counterproductive to our ends. It's like the general ordering soldiers into machine gun nests because he believes the opposition will run out of bullets or just stop shooting. Running for office is like planting corn. If the soil is poor and not properly prepared, what's the point of planting seeds? You and I will have to find ways to convince many more people how libertarian values are worth their support and their vote. First, we have to find ways to prepare the political soil for planting. Only then does it make sense to mount election campaigns.